this has been my work of 45 years. My God, I'm coming in the 45th year. This is a year in therapy training course number 5, the final in a series of 5 courses. We have students from various locations and countries that are joining us today. And what we're going to do today, other than starting off with our typical morning ceremony communion, is we're going to go through this book in a brief way to find out how much of the information and education these students have learned over the last 4 classes actually was remembered or stuck in their head. It sounds like school, doesn't it? Well, that's kind of the way it is. All right, I'm going to put my phone on hush mode now, so at least I won't be interrupted by that. So we're going to go through here, and then there's some places where I'm going to actually read. I'll start off with that. But first of all, grab golden beverage of choice. Grab some of your water. If you have some of your Shivambu with you, grab it, bring it to the camera. If you don't have Shivambu with you for these classes, students are asked to do a symbolic gesture by holding up a glass or a chalice, if you're into golden chalices, wine goblets, etc., and symbolically hold it as if you have the golden water of life, the nectar in there, as we do our prayer this morning. This is the golden water, the water that we were born in. This is the water that everybody was born in. This is the water that unites all men and women, all boys and girls, all races, including all species. And that includes humans and four-leggeds and wingeds and creepy crawlies and all those other characters and those that swim in the sea. We're all connected by plasma. Plasma is life-giving blood to the body. Plasma is life-giving, similar blood to the ocean and to the ocean life and biology out there. And plasma is also the 5th state of matter: solid, liquid, gas, air, and plasma. Plasma is also known as 5th dimensional consciousness. So we're living in a 5D, pretending to be in 3D, and we're going to give thanks for the beautiful blessings that this class will bring us today and the rest of our Saturday. Cheers. Looks like we're at Dr. Octave's wellness center with all those things behind her head. So, any questions before we get started? Any questions? Anything? Is there something that just stuck out to you and you go, I gotta ask that question? Well, let's see who knows the Shivambu wisdoms. Since you guys are very wise, you figured it out. What's the first thing on the list of the Shivambu wisdoms or understandings? Come on, use your intuition. You know this. Number 1, it's an intuitive elixir. And who can explain what the heck I'm talking about? What does intuition have to do with self-healing, with self-salvation, with self-liberation? What does intuition have to do with your darn journey? Everything. Right? For the people who are wondering, what's coming up next in this life? Where am I supposed to be? Who am I supposed to be with? Well, your intuition is your guidance system. It's built in. The same with critical thinking, the same with a knowingness. This is all built in. So your water comes with a knowingness, and it will guide you intuitively how to use it, when to use it, including emergency situations when you're out in the public and somebody crosses your path and they just got scratched or stung or burned or whatever it is, and you happen to be carrying some Shivambu with you in a spray bottle. And you go, wait, I know what to do. Spray, 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 spray. Walk away. So it's an intuitive thing. It'll tell you when to fast, when to change things in your diet, how much, how little, when to sip, when to loop, all that stuff. And the reason I say this is because the answers are always inside of us. And a lot of people reach out. I need a break, really. I need a break from everybody in the world reaching out to me and say, what do I do about this? And what do I do? You guys, you know this stuff. That's what intuition's all about. It's your ally. It's on your team. All right. Number 2, Shivamba works regardless of what you think about it. And what am I talking about? There's no limitations on what you can heal. It doesn't matter if you use the Shivamba of a man, woman, an adult, a child, a healthy person, a sick person, a different race, a different species. The water is the water is the water. So the reason we need to know that is because that question is going to come up to you from someone who says, well, you know, my daughter is sick and I can't collect her water. What can I do? Can I use mine? Yeah. Your genetic match. Go for it. People ask that question all the time. It's a universal panacea. It works regardless of what you think about it. Who knows what saturation dosing is?
It's when you put it in various parts of the body, any part you can, eyes, nose, mouth, ears, private areas, drinking it.
Yes. And there's more to that. I mean, using all those protocols is using all the protocols. However, saturation dosing is including them with the oral consumption more and more every day for the purpose of preventing or curing whatever it is that affects your health. All right, so saturation dosing we're going to discuss again, and that's a big part of this. It works regardless of what you say it does. It has no limitations in its healing. It's in a classification all to itself. And the wisdom charts, you guys kind of get, you know what that means, right? You kind of get an idea about the wisdom charts. Did anybody introduce Shivamba to anybody new?
Yes, I did.
And what was the context of that discussion?
Well,
how'd that
2
happen?
people, they were like, they didn't take it well.
How did you present it, Trina? How did it start?
I said, I have something to tell you. I've been knowing them a long time, and I said, I know something that would really help you with what you're dealing with, you know, some issues that include in your life. And I told them it's called urotherapy. And they said, what's that? And I said, it's drinking your urine. They about dropped the phone. and and they didn't say anything back, but I think they were like dumbfounded. And then, you know, and then the second one was like, well, I'll get with you next week so you could tell me more, you know, because this the holiday, everybody have company. But that was it. So I spoke to the other lady again, and it was like, she didn't bring it up. So I didn't bring it up. So that's it. A lot of people are afraid of their spouses. That's what I'm finding.
Yeah,
I'm finding that. Yes, the disapproval of their, 3 people I did. The other one was 2. Yeah, I think they have spouse is not understanding, and they don't want the backlash from that.
It could be husband, it could be wife, it could be parents, it could be kids. Anywhere where people are feeling uncomfortable and guilty, they need to clear that in their head.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. And they'll probably call back later and ask about it again, you know. I sent some of them the deal that was on Gaia on urine therapy, and told them watch that, and sent them the link that was free for a week.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them went and looked at that. Yes, some other ones, you know, that I've told recently, and they kind of convinced them. And I think they do it privately and not telling it. basically.
Well, here's something you can ask him. Hold on a second. All right. Well, here's the idea. I'll explain what this is. One of the questions is great. By the way, I'd love to know the relationship you have. What your connections were to these people. Were they friends? Were they relatives? Were they colleagues? Was it Joe Blow off the street? Well, anything. You'll get to that in just a minute. One of the questions you can ask them is, hey, there's something that's been really helpful for me to stay healthy and on top of anything that's come my way. Can you keep an open mind? Can you keep an open mind? You want to see if there's an opening, before you get hit with anything or shut down. What was their connection to you?
Oh, friends I've been knowing for 20 years. People I've been knowing for, I guess, 20, 15 years, basically 10, maybe 5 years. And the family, they just think I'm crazy, but the kids, like I say, the kids just be like, for real, and I, basically, but, but they don't take it hard at all. They're just like, Mommy, what are you doing next? You're always doing something, you're always investigating something. And that's with the children. But with the others, they know it too. They're like, you're a naturopathic doctor, and I know you get into everything. So, give us some more information and, and we'll check it out. But like I say, most of them came back with, they probably have to do it privately, because of the spouses or the children, things like that.
Well, I've learned it not from a spouse, but from a roommate position. Every place I've gone to since I left Boulder, when I was in Boulder and when I came over here, the beautiful thing is when I would let people know as soon as possible, are you okay with a lifestyle that includes urine therapy? And most people say, I'm fine with that. I mean, I've not heard anybody come out clean and say, well, what if the smell goes down the hallway or whatever it is? And so when I was in Boulder, my housemate was also one of my students.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So he was a friend of 28 years, and he also practiced urine therapy. He had copies of my books. And so that was a great find in a housemate situation. And then I moved to the next place. I said, well, I practice urine therapy and I have clients that come over to the house. Is that okay? Because if you don't pre-qualify them, you'd be sitting on this guilt thing about, well, what if they find out? So I just assume come out with it and take care of it. And that's been very helpful. And then the last place before I got to this place, it was another student. Way cool.
Yes, I listened to a book about 2:00 this morning on Audible that had it on there about urine therapy. And they were talking about how people order it and people sell it. Mm-hmm. I had no idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are you talking about the cow urine, camel urine?
No, I'm talking about human urine. The guy was talking about it was Human Urine, How to Harness, Drink, and Profit from Our Own Pee by Domina Ketchucha by Jim D. Johnston. And he was talking about that years and years ago, how they sold it. And they actually sell it, the one that's not purified, and then the one, just regular, and people was buying it. And I had harvested. I was like, what? That's the first time I heard that, and they said it was more years ago, they did it all the time. And now there's still a few people on the black web. I was like, what black web? What? That sell their pee. And I was like, okay.
All right.
I would do it, but anyway.
If you could send me privately that information, I would love to know if this person's still alive and what countries he's referring to.
That's a good question. I was just like, but that's the book right there.
Okay. If you could email it to me, I'll look at it.
Okay.
Nothing is impossible. One guy reached out to me when my first book came out, and he says, hey, do you know how I can sell urine? I said, use your imagination. It's like anything else in a jar. You get it out to the people. You better have a really good sales angle. You got to really know how to write it up and be able to get it to people's attention in a way they're going to go, oh, I don't have to use my own. I'll just buy some. But you see, it's so powerful of a medicine, there'll even be a market for it. I have no doubt. Doc Mike was wanting to sell his urine wafers. He wasn't going to sell them, but he wanted to market them where people would pee on a cotton pad, dry it out, put it in a baggie, and mail it to folks anywhere so they could rehydrate it and then use it for their own healing by having a second immunity that came from that other urine. And when he first told me the idea, I said, that is even outside of my box. That's something that's kind of hard to wrap my mind around, that I would want to be, peeing on pads and, and sending them out to people. I'm going, I think I got better things to do with my time.
It's different. I mean, the things I hear people doing with it, I've been doing a lot of research. It's really something.
Yeah. And I love the ingenuity of everybody.
But I would like to get deep into the aged, because that one I don't understand as well. It's the age urine.
Okay.
So
Let's
I
talk
need to
about
know
that.
more about that.
Okay, thanks for bringing that up. I think somebody else had that same question show up for them. Aged urine is anything that's starting to gain in strength, potency, stem cells, antibodies, nutrients, et cetera, et cetera. All right, first, in order to understand anything, I guess the new hip term is understand. In order to understand anything, we have to come to a understanding or a definition of what it is where the term is. Aged urine is what we're talking about. So how do we define it as age? How does it fit into the category of aged urine? I brought this up before, but I'd love to say it again, that everybody who seems to be a urine therapy teacher, author, expert, etc., has come up with their own measurement way of measuring what is aged urine. John W. Armstrong in 1944 suggested that it was 4 days, and he was using 4-day-old, what he called aged urine, in people's eyes and bodies, and got results. Some people say it's 9 months. Dr. Rosalind Hansen, I think she's out in Tennessee or somewhere, she suggested it was 9 months is considered aged urine because that was related to the gestation period of the fetus into the baby body. All right. Now, my understanding is that the moment you collect it, I mean, this is a very off the charts intelligence water. The moment you collect it, what is it doing? It's evolving. It's maturing. It's kind of like kombucha. It's starting to, ferment. It's starting to increase in potency and oxygen and nitrogen, potassium, stem cells. All that is increasing. So you could say that the aging or evolving process starts from the moment you collect it. And then we get to determine what stage of its evolution is considered usable or more potent, or it hits the right spot, whether it could be a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. We get to determine that. And it's basically intuition again. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. It makes sense.
Because people are overcomplicating something that's super simple. I'm not saying you guys are, but people have these questions, and you can tell that they're still thinking from the medical perspective of how you approach self-healing.
True.
Right? And we're approaching it from the natural method approach. And it's very intuitive and it's very simple, and it doesn't require, going to college or even passing the 5th grade.
And I've heard that people that's on, cancer patients or whatever, people who have cancer, should I say, because we're not looking at it from a medical perspective on that end. But they actually drink their own urine, even though they have that issue in their body, and they still drink that urine from their body. Is that true?
That's true. It can be their urine. It could be someone else's. Now, cancer falls in the same category of the word virus, and many people think it's a myth in order to suck you into their system and their protocols and their diagnosis and their poisons. Right? So the cancer is a compromised part of the body where toxicity or inflammation goes rampant and it starts to eat away at the body, but that doesn't mean it's a cancer per se. It's the body needing some help.
Okay.
Now, I explained this before, and the reason that people get confused when they go to their doctor, we still say doctor, when they go when they go to their medical trained person, and the person looks inside their urine and identifies something that falls into a category of toxins, heavy metal, chemicals, sexually related diseases, UTI, infections, however they find it when they're looking deeply under a microscope, their parameters are not determining whether it's going to be beneficial or harmful. Their parameters is find it, identify it, and then let people know you found that thing you were looking for in the urine, right? It's already been blended with over 5,000 other beautiful things and turned into this elixir, but they're not looking at it from that perspective. Does that make sense?
Yes. And also, I heard that listening to the book that doctors back in the day actually taste the urine, everybody's urine. So apparently he had multiple immune system.
Yeah, he was
Everybody that came in the office, I was like, for real, and to see what condition they had. I mean, wow. I mean, he never got sick, apparently.
He didn't get sick. And what country were these doctors from?
He didn't say, but he might have. I might have missed that. But I was like, because I was like half asleep, listening in and out, you listening to it. But and I'll catch it here, and I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it again. But I thought, what tasted everybody's? That's how they tell if they had diabetes, if it was sweet, different things like that. I was like, okay.
All right. Well, it sounds like Oriental doctors.
Okay.
Because the American doctors, they don't tend to use natural methods of your senses, the look, the smell, the taste, et cetera, and some of them can just barely do the muscle tests, the applied kinesiology, and they get the reading from the muscle, from the body's going to communicate, and that has nothing to do with a medical education.
Wow.
So the people who knew the body, they knew the chi, they knew the energy circuitry, they knew the reflexology, they knew the acupuncture meridian systems of the body. These guys had an inside track on the body that the doctors never had. And you study these. I studied these for years and years. I'm going, you won't learn these from our system. And this is why all these healing modalities that you do, that Tanya and I do, they need to be kept alive. They need to be practiced. Yeah. They need to be brought through generation after generation to keep them alive.
Yeah, true.
And I'm still doing and teaching reflexology and breath work and the modalities that I learned from my mentors. Each generation needs to learn something new. All right, so we have an understanding now about the evolving water.
Yes.
Right on. We're going to go to page 90. All right, so this is from where's the other version of this book? I haven't given up on getting this cover back, by the way. I haven't given up on it. I'm either going to find the, yeah, I love, oh my God. Either I'm going to find the guy who has the copyright to this and get his a blessing to use it, or I'll find a backup and have that person give me the authority to use it, and then it'll be back again. All right, page 90. There are 6 forms of nose drinking. You already know about the nasaline by now. Page 90. Tipping the head backwards and drinking orin down the throat while sniffing is just one form of UT nose drinking. Here are 5 other types of nasal drinking. This is written by a gentleman named Labahoyce, and he may be from France or wherever. Before beginning, rub fresh orin in each eye, although not essential. Begin by taking a sitting position with legs underneath, almost like a squat posture, placing all weight on the knees. Tip the head down to position the top of the head on the ground in front of your knees. Tip the head, okay. Insert glass pipette or squirt bottle into first nostril, and while keeping the tip of head on the ground, upside down head, to ensure no orin flows out or down the throat, insert 1 to 2 milliliters of 100% pure orin. I think that measurement can be altered to fit your situation. Using evolving orin that you have is best for this procedure. Now, always, if you're concerned about that 3-second sting when you're using evolving orin up the nose or anywhere else, you may want to tame it down with a little fresh orin or some distilled water. The orin will go up your nose and travel behind the eye. It then enters the prefrontal cortex, part of the brain, which is responsible for thought processes, and then makes its way to the pineal and pituitary glands. You may wish to curse with discomfort, squeeze a lot, feel a tremendous pressure behind the eye, and feel a bit of pain, but this is all normal at the start. With continued practice of nose drinking, and that I would also include sniffing, snorting, nasal leaning, or whatever you can do to get it up into your brain, the sinuses become rehydrated or moist, and the discomfort soon passes. Now, keep in mind that when you're first sniffing, snorting, or getting urine up the nose to rehydrate the sinuses, it might be uncomfortable for a little bit because most people have dried sinuses because of their diet. And so that'll go away after doing that a couple times. It's also well known that drinking, sniffing, snorting orin through the nose can decalcify and activate the pineal gland, also known as the third eye. Placing your free hand on the forehead during this difficult time will support you through the process. The other 4 forms are repeating the same method by inserting pipette or whatever you're using and delivering 1 to 2 milliliters. The difference is you have your head tilted, keeping top of head on the ground, look up to the ceiling while viewing bum in the air. Boy, this sounds like amazing yoga, guys. This angular position will allow orin to travel into deep parts of the skull through sinus and soft tissues. You will feel it going to the back of the ear and inside the face. These 5 forms are with the head tipped in different positions to allow orin to reach different sites in the head and brain and through the tubulars and nerves inside the head. Experiment, we're on page 92. Experiment with it to where you need it most, for example, where the pain is most extreme. Afterward, you may feel like a head cold coming on. Allow all mucus to come up and out of the nose. Phlegm of all kinds will be discharged. You will notice that breathing air becomes significantly easier than ever before. Now, that's one of the side effects of clearing out the mucus and getting all that out of your sinuses and your brain. And that's another thing that drains is people sometimes feel mucus coming out their eyes. Some people have their eyes actually semi-closed for a while before they clear out again. This is where you want to keep doing orin eye rinses. But eventually it clears up. You will not sneeze anymore after a few procedures. Even if you try it for a few days, stop for a month, Try it again. You will not sneeze, and the pain will be significantly reduced. The rewards are incredible, and once you see the results on the first try, you will be interested to do it again. The discomfort can be disconcerting, but the good feeling is far more delightful. Peace, la voice. Okay, so that's going to be in the chapter on nose drinking, which is in the protocols section. And any questions about anything related to nose drinking, nose sniffing, and all that cool stuff? Any questions? Because I keep talking about it because people often want to avoid doing any nose drinking or sniffing. And you guys started doing that yet? No sniffing, nose drinking, no snorting, no anything. The baby steps, since I love teaching baby steps, is get your orin out and have people start sniffing the fumes. So you want to get your sinus, your nasal cavities prepared that you're going to bring this up your nose. So one start is just to get the odor, the smell, particularly if you've cleaned up your diet. All right. The next thing you want to do is either use a Q-tip or your finger and just dab it inside your nose. You're starting to get used to it. I mean, it looks silly as heck if you don't know, if you're not part of this community. And then you start sniffing, and then eventually you start using other devices like the nasaline, or get used to just drinking it up the nose that way. Any questions?
I did want to share that I bought these
Very
for eye
nice.
drops, and so that they're now accessible and can be used when needed,
Very nice. Can you
or
unscrew
at
the
least
top?
more frequently.
Can you unscrew the top so we can get a visual? Okay, and it's a soft. Oh, that's perfect.
Yep. They were harder to find because I wanted plastic that was BPA free.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Would you be so kind as to send me something by email so I can take a closer look at those things?
okay.
Yeah.
And send it to me. Yes.
We'll double team over
Yeah.
there. Yeah, a
Okay.
picture, a name, an Amazon link. Is it soft plastic?
It is. They usually just have the glass ones and the droppers. But this is the only brand, it's on Amazon, the only brand that I found that was BPA free, and it comes in 3 parts. I'll show the other bag because you have to buy like
This is
20 of them.
exciting. This is a new discovery for me.
Yes, me too. I
Um,
sent, yeah.
oh, okay, that's for her. All right.
I sent my
So
link
they
so
kind
you
of
could send it to me.
come in a bag.
I like that.
With just the base.
That. And you get the little thing, the cap, you just kind of
Yeah,
put on,
inside the opening,
and then
the
the
lid.
top. And you can keep it in your purse. It's mobile, goes with you.
Yes.
Our
I
fanny
put my
pack.
email in the chat so you can send it
Okay,
to me.
perfect.
Thank you for that.
Thanks.
New stuff all the time. All right, so you saw the little bottles that I use. One is either what does that hold? About a third of an ounce, half an ounce, something like that. So you can also get the 1 ounce glass bottles that either have a pump on the top or a sprayer. One pumps it out and the other one sprays it. And I can always show you where theirs are as well. All right, I'm going to go to page 73. This is another subject that either it's near and dear to you and you've embraced this life into your wellness practice, or you have resistance to it. It's called urine fasting. And for some reason, people still have resistance to taking a vacation from food. I don't know why. Maybe we're kind of like hooked on it, literally. And so when you take a break from the dogma and the rules and the obsession and the addiction and the neurosis and the nutsy state of mind you go through to try to figure out what food is right for you at different stages of your life, and how do you shop and where do you buy it, and you take a break and you do a urine fast, you'll notice that throughout the day you don't even think about food. Somewhere at the end of the day, I noticed I didn't think about food. I didn't crave food. I made it through the day and I didn't get hungry. So urine fasting is more powerful, it seems, at least for a lot of people in the golden water community, than dry fasting, intermittent fasting, even distilled water fasting, master cleanse fasting, juice fasting. They felt that it was not only more nutritionally sound for them, but they felt healed. They felt a lot of changes in their health and in their brain and in their energy. So it may not be for you guys, but there you have it. So we're going to start reading. I'm going to read from page, we're going to go from 73 to 79. And here we go. I might skip around because some of this I might have read before. How do you go on an Oren fast? Answer: it's a vacation from food. It's a yoga of mindfulness for the tension on the body and mind, not on eating. So you want to drink, you want to collect 100% of what you collect shortly after you pee. Drink only the Oren, or you can combine it with distilled water for the entire day. Drink enough to satiate your thirst, to overcome hunger sensations, and throughout the day, drink 2 to 3 more ounces. Well, you want to drink as much as you can. So the measurement is irrelevant, because if you collect 8 to 12 ounces, have at it, okay? Because what you're doing is totally saturating your body with everything you would be normally getting in a health food store. All the vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, probiotics, it's all in it. All right, notice that the hunger has gone. The advanced fasting practice is to drink as little Oren as possible for the day that puts you on the edge of a dry fast. I haven't gone to that extent. And some people are pushing it to where you don't have autophagy and you're in a dry state, and they feel that's a deeper cleanse than just even urine fasting, and that's optional. All right. Just remember, all the things that people do that are really on the edge of healing, cleansing, and purification aren't for everybody. So there's no rule that says you got to do what other people do, but you'll figure it out. You'll find your way through it. Avoid drinking Oren or any other fluids a couple of hours before bedtime. Otherwise, you might have interrupted sleep to go pee. 2 hours before bedtime, take a break from drinking, collect and save your Oren, and you'll store it for when you're ready to use it. Page 75. Patience is required when drinking it all day long. Since you drank your pee and have read this far in the manual, you earned a Piquant Flyer Award. That's because you have high piquancy. Oren becomes clear and neutral in the smell and sweeter on the day you fast. Have you noticed that the days you fast, or the days you just do one meal, or the days you do fruit, the consistency and the look and the smell change? You notice that there are. Does it taste better on the days you eat better?
I haven't noticed any difference. I'm a pretty strict eater though. I'm a raw vegan, so I haven't noticed any change, but I haven't had any dietary changes either.
Okay, how about when you eat less?
That's the one thing I haven't did in terms of fasting, and I'm coming up on a 3-day fast, so I'll let you know.
Yeah, please do. Because anybody who achieves a fast, it seems, is a great demonstration and a great role model for a lot of people who are having trouble fasting. So it's great to hear that kind of thing. Oren becomes clearer, neutral in the smell, and sweeter on the day that you fast. Oren fast has no limits on what health challenges or health conditions it can improve. Fasting works quicker when combined with other natural adjunct therapies. Orin fasting increases stem cells, the bottom of page 75, human growth hormone, antibodies, probiotics, steroid hormones, and their metabolites, and thyroid hormones, page 76. Orin fasting improves intelligence, imagination, creativity, sense of humor, short-term memories, and sharpens thinking abilities, critical and the big picture thinking skills also return. How many people have gone through the challenge of having short-term memory? People have this all the time. They go, well, I can't remember what I did a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, blah, blah, blah. And other people can relive them like that. They can remember who they were with, what they ate, where they were, how they felt. Some people have just extraordinary memories, and that ability can still be tapped into. And I'm always thrilled every time all of a sudden these beautiful memories start showing up, and you go, wow, I'm glad they're still around. So that could be an early Christmas gift for you. So keep snorting. All right. We're on page 76. Orin fasting makes us feel like slowing down, taking time to meditate, feeling grateful, closer to love. I slept on the beach yesterday. God, that felt good. Just to sleep out in the open while the water coming in and out, and in the background, it's kind of like there's a softness of, oh, dad and the babies and the mom and the kids playing together. You hear that just going through your ears while you're relaxing. Go, oh, God, this is heaven. So find a spot in nature where you can do that. You can just surrender to that incredible place. All right. Orin fasting combined with topical application of fresh or evolving orin does wonders on the skin conditions as it lubricates and nourishes the skin. Orin fasting is effective in treating parasites, viruses, fungus, pathogens, and yeast, including candida. While orin reestablishes our balance from food allergies and any form of itis in the intestinal tract from exposure to pathogens from our diet, outside sources, etc., the body will detox itself of heavy metals, drugs, and chemicals, which are stored in the body fat. Dormant centers in the brain are activated, page 77, and bring a greater appreciation of music. Thank you. Music, singing, dance, romance, art, and the innumerable gifts of life. Combine regular fasting with living foods, fruit-based diet, exercise, meditation, rest, can make all the difference in restoring health and wellness. Conscious, deep, connected breathing, slowing down, allows one to achieve good energy management. It sounds like every time I teach this, we're creating more American yogis. Because all the things in America, it seems that the stuff that really help deepen our sense of the sacredness and open our hearts are things they've been practicing in the East forever. Starting to make its way into our every life. Like yoga came into America in the 50s with Yogananda. And look how popular yoga is now. From one man leaving his country and starting it here. During an orin fast, detoxing may occur as the body is restoring its healthy bacteria. Cataracts are usually removed in 10 to 14 days using eye rinses. Those with post-traumatic stress disorders, Alzheimer's, senility, ADHD, ADD, autism, bipolar, report great results. This is credited to the presence of DHEA, melatonin, serotonin, dopamine, B vitamins, oxytocin, magnesium, and other important nutrients, page 78, for the glands, brain, and nervous system. All healing comes from within and goes out to the surface, from the head down and in reverse order as the symptoms have appeared or have been suppressed. Orin becomes lighter in color and sweeter in taste with each collection and every time you have a drink. Orin compresses during orin fasting applied 24/7 are wonderful for gangrene, eczema, cuts, burns, insect, snake bites, sunburns, and all skin conditions. Take up a mucus-free, acid-free diet. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Get out all mucus-forming foods, meats, dairy, carbs, processed foods. These are also acid-forming. These also contribute to inflammation. If only they taught us how to eat in school, then they wouldn't have served us all the crap they served us. No, but that's a whole nother paradigm. Enjoy better sleep, less sleep while Oran fasting. Oran fasting removes heavy metals, toxins, safer and faster than zeolite, wheatgrass juice, shilajit, or far infrared saunas. And I have some dear friends that sell all these things, so forgive me if I've stepped on anybody's sacred cows there. Oran fasting repairs and cleanses all the cells of cellular and metabolic waste, facilitating cancer healing. Healing and non-genetic diseases, page 79. Question, how long should I do an Oran fast? Answer, start practicing intermittent fasting from 6 p.m. to 10 a.m. daily. Skip breakfast. Do a fast for about 16 hours. Your digestive system will thank you for the good rest. With Oran, you can start with an ounce. Most serious drinkers will drink the entire amount that was collected. A basic Oran fast can last from 1 to 3 days. So if you're doing a 3-day fast, that's perfect. And I hope you will get the other things in balance when you're doing the fast, getting massages, enemas, a walk, hug a tree, all the things that help nurture you. Typically, most fasts will last 7 days, 14 days, 21 days, or 30 days. Some people have been known to fast beyond 30 days to heal more serious health challenges. One man fasted on what was called the Master Cleanser for 365 days and healed himself of paralyzed legs. He was in a wheelchair, he threw it away, and he now takes brisk walks every day. That was Dr. Gary Young of the Essential Oil Company, Young Living. It'd have been cool if he had only knew about urine therapy. He wouldn't have had to wait a whole year. Simply fast long enough to cure whatever disease you think you have. Always listen, trust, and follow your intuition. The mere length of Oran fasting can raise human growth hormone to very high levels while fasting and correcting conditions. And things you want to keep with you always in your car, in your house, in your backpack is cotton balls, washcloths, and Q-tips. All right. If there is a cut, a burn, a sunburn, a cut, a scratch, acne, bruises, capillary bursts, discolor, which is the discoloration of skin. By the way, I get these all the time. And I put on the Oran. You can't see that, can you? There, yeah, whatever. They're gone in 4 days every time. There's one right there. You put it on, and in 4 days, it gets lighter and lighter and goes away. So all your friends that are 50 and older who get those things, and they don't have to contend with it year after year. Just teach them how to use their water. All right, so keep those things in your car: a washcloth, a cotton ball, a cotton pad. So in any situation arises, just remember, urine is your go-to first aid. If it becomes that in your mind, that's the first thing you're going to think about. When someone gets cut, scratch, hurt, bite, whatever, you're going, oh, I have some in my purse. Do you mind? Space, that. And they go, oh, thank you very much. Then give them a book. Now that you know how to take care of yourself, why don't you get more education? Page 81. An Oran body massage, including facial, scalp, head, feet, hands, hair rubs, are very complementary to fasting and enemas as a treatment for skin disorders, diseased body parts, internal organs, wounds, rejuvenating whole body tonic. Oran makes a good substitute for soap. Did you hear that? For soap. Every morning I put it in my hair. Do I look like the hair color of a 70-year-old man? I'm 69 and my hair doesn't go gray. So rub it in, wash it in, leave it in as long as you can. I can't say the same for my beard or chest hairs, but this seems to be working, at least that part. Take 30 to 60 minutes to receive or give it to another an Oran body massage for well-being. Go slowly and softly while massaging Oran toward the heart. Pay attention to massage the areas where the lymph glands are located. The neck, the armpits, the groin, where all those lymphatics are. Send kind and loving thoughts and positive energy to the recipient. Allow at least an hour for the Oran to be absorbed. When Oran is absorbed into the skin, the odor of ammonia will be gone after a short period of time. It's either dissolving or what some people call outgassing. Orin massages are easy to love and appreciate. It's worth it for a wonderful feeling of being healthy and invigorated. When you're using Orin in a massage situation, if I didn't already mention this before, you're now putting pressure on water going over the skin surface and not oil. So if you don't want to slip off their body, you've got to go slower than normal as the pressure deepens, and then you can get into the muscle in those different details without sliding off their body. Got that part? It's a different consistency than oil. We're going over to page 65. All right, who's doing foot soaks? How long are you soaking in your feet in the tub?
An hour.
Awesome. Awesome. And are you also including the hands in the same tub or in a different tub?
The hands,
Mhm.
it's hard for me to be that stable. I keep put them in and then I do things and then I come back and it's not like me sitting with my feet in. So I haven't really mastered that one yet.
Okay.
I've done the feet.
Yeah. You have?
35, 45 minutes.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, I have done this in some of my foot soaking videos and instructional videos, is have the feet in the tub and then reach down and put my hands next to my ankles in the tub with the feet. But that is a very uncomfortable yoga position. I don't care how flexible you are, to hold that position for any length of time is challenging indeed. So I would soak the hands at a separate time, right? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, kind of like give yourself a manicure. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, however you can, because that's going to address any wrist issues, finger issues, possible carpal tunnel, possible arthritis, possible blown wrist. If you use your fingers a lot on keyboards, housework, manual labor, body work, you want to keep these tools in good shape and healthy.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, because to me, it's cold. It gets real cold. So is it advisable to heat it? Because I put hot water in and put it in, but I would like to not have to use the water. So can I heat it?
Yeah, you can heat it, and you might even come up with a way that I haven't figured out yet. You could either put it in at some kind of container like the foot soaks with the jacuzzis. If they have a heating element, you don't have to heat water and put it in there, right? If you can figure that one out. Some people will lightly heat their urine if you can keep it under 115 degrees. Or some people will just heat up tap water because they're in the bathroom anyway. They want to get going with the soak. Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, because I use the hot water, but to me, I want the strongest, urine itself without diluting it.
Yeah.
So I was trying to think of a way to heat it, because I use these mason jars. So
Mhm.
I was thinking of putting it in a pot, set it in the water and let it heat. But it destroys the enzyme if it's too hot.
Well, it's a living food. So just a rule of thumb is don't heat it over 115 degrees,
Oh, okay.
right? Because there are enzymes in there.
Yes.
Okay, so however you do it, either a 2-quart saucepan or a Pyrex dish, whatever it takes, so you can get it from the stove to the tub. And some people probably have figured a way that there are tubs that have heating elements in them.
I have one. I need to get a new one because that one barely heats.
Okay.
Two things that I thought about is just kind of storing it and keeping it in the sauna. And the other thing was if you could put it in smaller containers, the dehydrator.
Without the shelves?
Without the shelves.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Now, what bothers me about my son is getting hot. So I'm wondering if that destroying the enzyme.
It gets over 105 or 100 degrees.
100. Mine is my infrared. I normally put it on 130, and I get in for an hour. And by the time I get out, it's 145.
I'd leave
But
the,
it's infrared.
yeah, well,
So you might not use it during that time. And I'm thinking when it's
Well-
not on, it's still maybe warm. So like it's storing it in there.
Because I use it when I'm in there, which it should be okay, right? Because it's like sitting in hot water. So I rub it all over me over and over again while I'm sitting in there. And then I have some bottles that are stored in there, which probably get hot during that time. So Tanya, what you're saying is take those bottles out and just use the one I'm using in there and put them back
Well,
after.
I was just thinking that like a food. And as like a raw vegan, we don't like to do our foods over a certain temperature. And depending on who you talk to, that changes. But if you're at 100, you might be a little bit good, but maybe keeping it stored in there. And then when you're turning, if it was a food, that's what I would do.
Oh, okay.
when you turn off the sauna, well, what rate does it get cooler? I mean, if you put it in when it's cooled down to a certain temperature and left it overnight, would it still hold the heat in the sauna, or as it goes into the wood? And then
Well, as soon as you turn it off and open the door, it's back to room temperature,
Gotcha.
basically within 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you'll figure it out. Maybe you can create some solar dehydrator that you can leave it out in the sun, and the heat comes into this. I don't know. Work on it.
Yeah, because it be freezing. I'm putting it on in the sun and it's cold when I first get in there. It's like, and warm it up. I'm going, wow, why is it so cold? It's warm when it come out your body, but then that's don't tell, so it's cold.
Yeah, so you get really creative. You'll make it work. Let's read a little bit about the foot soak here real quick. Page 65. Is that what I'm looking for? 65, 66. There's a picture of my feet in a tub. Foot and hand soaks support the overall health of the body. They're useful for any irritation, fungus, infections of the feet, diseases, cuts, stings, bites, scratches, eczema. Foot soaks are good for nourishing all bodily functions from the endocrine, digestion, absorption, nervous system, lymphatics, elimination, immune system, lungs, and skin. Place enough Orin, 2 to 4 quarts usually does the trick, in a 2-gallon Tupperware or Rubbermaid type soft plastic square tub to cover both the feet up to the ankles. If you have a Pyrex dish, a baking dish that'll do the job, and it can hold enough Orin to soak up to the ankle, use that, whatever you got. Get barefoot. Wear loose-fitting pants, shorts, rolled-up yoga pants, pajama bottoms, or a swimsuit. Clothing is optional when doing a foot soak while sitting on the edge of the bathtub or on a seat, page 66, in the tub. You'll be soaking for 30 minutes. Take advantage of this time by doing something relaxing or healing for you. Turn on music, sing, meditate, chant, draw, or read a book. Use this soaking time, if you think about it, or if you have any training in reflexology, to work on the points on the bottom of the feet and around the ankles to activate and open energy pathways for healing throughout the body. It doesn't matter whether you studied reflexology or not. Love and intention makes the magic work. And this is something what I love to tell the people when you ask them to give your massage. Well, I didn't try to study massage. I didn't go to massage school. I really don't know massage. I said, do you have love in your hands? Can you just touch in a gentle, loving, pressure? Yeah, I can do that. Okay, you qualify. Let's get to work. They overthink everything. The pores in the bottoms of the hands and the feet have the widest opening in the entire surface of the skin. This offers maximum absorption of the Orin into the bloodstream. Now, there's a demonstration in the book. You can go to my Facebook page. Reflexology teaches the use of touch, same with essential oils. The use of touch with a certain pressure on the feet and hands to stimulate and clear the flow of energy connected to each point. By applying Orin to the soles of the palms and the hands of the feet, the hands or the feet which have the widest pores of the body. The perfect medicine is instantly absorbed through the skin and transported through the bloodstream and onward to the cells. Remember to suggest the foot soak method to those hesitating to take their first drink of pee. Did you hear that part? I don't want to drink it. I don't think I'm ready for that. Well, would you put your feet in it? Well, that I would consider that. So, that's a baby step. Have fun during foot soak, hand soaking time. This is excellent for all kinds of conditions and throughout the body. All right, any questions on our lovely foot soaks? I love foot soaks. All right, let's back up to page 63. What do you guys use to cover and store your containers of Orin? And what kind of containers are your containers of choice? How do you store your Orin, and what kind of containers are you using?
I use the mason jars.
Okay, and what do you cover it with, or do you cover it?
The mason top.
All right, Tanya, how about you?
Me too. I
Okay.
usually don't screw it on. Sometimes it's just a paper towel because I might be drinking it in an hour or so or rushing back to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Perfect. There are those who are trying to figure out that answer that same question. They reach out to me all the time and they say, well, should I put on something that helps it breathe? I said, well, let's think about that. You could put on a cheesecloth. You could put on a flax hemp sprouting bag. You can put on a nylon stocking. You can put on a coffee filter. You can use any kind of material you want with a rubber band. That's up to you. Or you can put on a lid loosely or screw it on. The reason I say that is because it has its own ability to reoxygenate and stay sterile and clean. Putting on the lid is just to keep things from flying in there. So whatever inside it is just it. It won't be contaminated by the glass, plastic, whatever kind of container you're using, and you don't have to think about the storing of it. Now, the Damar Tantra 5,000 years ago suggested that we use pots made of gold, silver, copper, brass, iron, earth, clay, bamboo, bones, leather, bowl made of plantain leaves or coconut shell. Okay, pretty simple. Keep that in mind when someone comes up to you and say, what should I store it in, and the whole thing, the whole song and dance. Page 60. Well, I kind of went over this a bunch of times. You'll find out how committed you are by how much you're involved with your water and how much you're involved with making the health changes in your diet and your lifestyle and your exercise and your belief systems and your emotions. You'll find out how serious you are about getting your health where you want it. And that's why this is a personal journey. It's a very personal journey, the return home.
I do have a question, like, what is the best time of day to do it? I know some people do it all day long. Is the morning the best? If you're going to do it once a day, would it be morning, or can you do it at any time?
Are we talking about oral use?
Yes.
Okay. The Brother Sage School of Urotherapy teaches drink as much as you can, as often as you can, apply as much as you can, as often as you can. And it's an intuitive thing.
Okay.
All right. Some people treat it like a dose. Okay, I did a dose this morning. I'm good for the whole day. I tend to have more of a broader view because we're not in a world of pure earth and pure air and pure water and pure electromagnetics and pure everything that we walk into and out of throughout the day. So to me, it's like a bubble of protection.
Okay.
That's up to you. And the morning one is similar to the midstream theory that came to us years and years and years ago. I mean, the morning one supposedly has glandulars and enzymes, I mean, amino acids and things that come at the 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. Part of your cycle. That's why a lot of people go in that direction. But it's all precious. Anytime you can drink, drink. Okay. Okay, page 60, we talked about saturation dosing, topical protocols lightly touch each other. Does anybody remember any of the urine therapy history and what took place over the many thousands of years that brought to the attention of the world urine therapy? Other than the Damar Tantra. Do you remember any of the history part of our class? Not all at once, take your time. They used it for agriculture. They've used it over the centuries for agriculture. They used it in the laundry back in Rome. They taxed people for their urine. They would collect it and then use it in the clothing industry because they found that it worked better for that. People have, they've used it in their agriculture. They've used it in their not the chemistry, in the medicines in a lot of different countries. There was a time in the 1600s when Lewis and Clark, when they were crossing the United States, they saw Native American families bathing in urine. There's writings in all kinds of books and textbooks about the use of urine. And then in 1970, NASA put out the first and only composition of urine ingredients. And there was 3,000 of them back in those days.
Wow.
And now we've come up with 5,661 identified ingredients in our urine. And that website comes from Canada, and it indicates the parameters to look for. And if you ever want to go through that entire list, can anybody name any of the ingredients in urine?
It's a whole list.
All right, name
A whole list.
name a few.
Every what enzyme, lots of, I had a whole list. I don't know where I did with it, but I had a whole list. But I got one question. Somebody told me that they passed this person and they were going to talk to her.
Yep.
And she was from the country that really believe in drinking their urine,
Mhm.
and they smelled so bad they backed up, but she was a beautiful woman. Now, why would a person smell after they have rubbed it on like that?
Well, we have to, those kind of questions require a deeper questioning, right? What's their diet like?
Right, that's true.
Right?
That's true.
Do they use
Yeah.
did they use any perfumes or chemicals or hair dyes or shampoo? Did they use anything that could leach chemicals into their body?
Oh, okay. So that have a lot to do with it. Because that's when I was explaining to this person about doing that therapy, and they told me that, that kind of turned them off because they thought about, and I said, well, can't you spray some like herbal oils on you to knock out the smell if that person was smelling, like you say?
Yeah, yeah. They could do that.
Mhm.
And it seems in 2023, there's not just a pat answer when people say, I hear people all the time say, I'm healthy, I'm really healthy, I eat raw vegan and I'm in great shape. I say, well, how's your energy? How's your ability to think and track? How's your sense of humor? Do you get along socially with people? Just that seems like a blanket statement. Well, I eat really healthy. Well, are you healthy? So how's everybody doing for time? We're coming up to 11 o'clock. So in the book, you'll find not all the ingredients, but the majority of the most widely understood and known ingredients in our health that's found in the urine. And so you can look inside the chapter 4, if you want to know what's the secret sauce, what makes Shivambu work, what is considered all the ingredients. And this book came out in 2020, and at the time I wasn't aware of the research done in Canada that showed we have 5,661 ingredients, which is very impressive if you think about it. Are there any exceptions to people who can benefit from urine therapy? Are there any exceptions? Is there anybody that urine therapy can't help? The guy walking behind Susan who's eating in the restaurant. Everybody can be helped and healed with urine therapy if they desire hard enough, and that's your intention, and you're willing to make the changes in your lifestyle and continue being proactive with your lifestyle. You can heal everything. There are no exceptions. Can pets be treated with urine therapy? We talked about this. People are going to ask you, well, I have a dog and a cat and a bird and a ferret and a this, that, and the other thing. I'm not going to sit under its legs and collect its pee. What do I do? Well, you can use your urine, and it's not species specific. You can put that in your pet's water. You can massage it into their hair, their fur, their wings, their feathers, whatever you can, so that they can start regenerating their body and getting healthier. And we get stories all the time about people whose dogs, their hip pain and their joint pain and their inflammation and their whatever tumors was reduced and eliminated because of urine therapy and the love of the pet owner. Do you need a diagnosis in order to use urine therapy? The answer is no, because diagnosing any disease is unnecessary. UT itself traces out the disease in the manner that the police search out a thief in hiding and turns them in. So whatever is identified inside the plasma as it runs through the body and on its way through the kidney's filtration system, it will identify anything that feels like a threat or contamination to your entire system, and it will build an antibody, a remedy, and produce the perfect elixir for you. It is wonderful, but why was this philosophy, which was so beneficial and trusted, been kept a secret up until now? You ever wonder about that? Why was this kept a secret? How come we haven't been taught this in our schools, in our religions, and medicine? This whole philosophy can cure, and cure never disappeared at all. It has been all around us and is still here. But our modern prejudice mentality and medical system did not allow AUT to be understood or discussed up until now. Insects, birds, fish, quadrupeds are already using this means instinctively. By now, you've seen YouTube videos of orangutans, reindeer, camels, giraffes drinking their pee straight into their mouths. Only human beings intoxicated by their intellectual power have neglected it. They are using their skills and knowledge mainly for selfish ends. So this has been known throughout nature. This has been known throughout all our history. This continually becoming more recognized, more popular, and more available, the education, the awareness like we're doing on these training courses and the conference calls that are opening up people to their own bodies in a way they've never really thought of before. So it's like we're making history, guys. So keep standing up and keep telling people about it. Let's take a little break. We're going to take a little 8-10 minute break and then come back.
Okay.
Hold up the bottle, will you please? This is Masterpiece. This is the genius the product of, that's good. The result of Matthew Hazen meeting with a nanotechnology scientist wizard out there at one of the universities, and another woman who could see under deep microscope zoom, to how to bring zeolite to a certain nano-sized size so that it can get in between the cells, intercellularly and extracellularly, in the cells and around the water, around the cells, to magnetically capture and bind the positively charged forever chemicals, heavy metals, et cetera, and eliminate them out the body. And what they did was they combined it with marine sea plasma with its 96 required minerals, so that when the bad guys come out, the good nutrients come in, and people are experiencing all kinds of great benefits. So it was designed for our modern times. And they're about to release version 2.0 and a secondary product called Restore, which will go after intestinal and gut issues. And at some point, they're bringing on marine sea plasma as the other product. So I'm very excited about it. And
So how long you been taking it?
Since June,
Okay. You see the difference?
I see the difference. I feel the difference. I'm taking my drops twice a day. Also, it's some people put it in their belly button and in their eyes
Hmm?
for eye issues.
Just straight like that? Straight
Like that.
drops?
Yeah. And I just heard about a colon hydrotherapist who's been putting either Masterpiece or marine sea plasma in colonics.
Mm.
She says it's direct route on the portal vein to the liver. That's why you do implants and enemas, to clear the liver as well as the intestines.
Oh, okay.
So that was news to me. I got all excited.
So they just put it in, I guess, the whatever they're using for the colonics?
Yeah, whatever kind of pure water, or yeah, most colon therapists use a purified water system that's hooked up into the city water, so it purifies it.
Purifies it. Okay. Mm.
All right. Well, speaking of our class, it looks like Tanya had to go, so it's just us guys.
Okay.
All right. How much time do you guys have?
Well, oh, whenever you're ready.
No, can you stay an hour, hour and a half?
Yes, I'm good.
Oh, nice. Ding, ding, ding. All right. We have a winner. All right. So I included on chapter 5, which is page 32 and 32 and so forth, for the people who are still finding folks who said, what's the research? Do you have evidence? Do you have scientific reviews and peer reviews and, that kind of stuff? Do you have medical backing to why this water that comes out of your body is actually what you say it is? And you're just not messing with me. Well, it's coming forth all the time. Some of it has been written up in the book. Some you will find on PubMed. You'll find it at the Shivambu Hut. I have some of it written in my book, sometimes in the resource section in the back, where you can find this evidence. You can find the research. You can find the confirmation and the validation that urine therapy is beneficial for human health, as well as contains urine-derived stem cells. Now, stem cells, if you don't know this, stem cells are what's known as non-differentiated stem cells, which means they don't take on the form or the classification of what cell they need to become until the body directs them to do that. So if you need to have new liver cells, if you need to have new brain cells, if you need to have new skin cells or toenails, whatever, it will become those that the body requires it to do. So this is the part that you can look through some of the research and clinical studies. if those that are watching want to get their hands on the website from Canada that identifies 5,661 ingredients in human urine, I recommend you go to shivambu.org and find the Shivambu Hut free membership and look for the writing there, or reach out to me and I can get you that link. Chapter 6 is a very important component that puts together your greatest chance for success with urine therapy, and also in developing and building your own wellness lifestyle for yourself. And what this chapter is referring to is, how do you create homeostasis and balance of your body? Well, you'll have to bring all 4 pillars of health into balance, and they are the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual parts of your life. So you have to look at your diet, whether you're exercising, whether you're doing yoga, massage, enemas, walks, bicycling, swimming, etc., etc. If you're getting hugs from people, hugs from trees, if you have spiritual practices, if you're being honest with yourself about your emotions and working on your emotional well-being, all these things need to come together to really achieve the best health for a lifetime. And your job is to keep them in balance every day. And if you do that, you won't be seeking out sources and remedies for yourself, because you will have it all figured out. So this is why chapter 6 is written in here, because the people who will come up to you and say, well, I drink my urine, how come I'm not feeling any better? Or I do this with my urine and it's still not healed. Well, have you changed anything else? Have you changed your diet? Have you changed your lifestyle? Have you changed how you relate to people? So all these things play a vital part in you, in your recovery, and the people you talk to about urine therapy. They got to be willing to make the changes, and they've got to be serious about their health. They got to be serious about their life. They got to be doing whatever it takes to not only make the changes, but to maintain the practice of these on a daily basis. This is not a hit or miss. It's not a been there, done that thing. If you want your life back, you got to work it. If you want your health back, you got to work it. If you want your calm, steady balance back, you have to work at it. If you want your sanity back, your sense of humor, you got to work at it. So there's some work involved in being a healthy, happy human being. Chapter 7 is going to go through all the protocols. They are as follows. And if anybody wants to add any comments about these protocols, you're welcome to jump on it. Number 1, drinking. Just drink it. Urine therapy does the body good. Oral consumption. Drinking it means collect it, pee, collect, drink. That's it. As often as you can throughout the day, whenever you can think about it. Keep it handy, keep it in your purse, in your backpack, in your glove box, in your kitchen, in the bathroom, under the sink, in your bedroom, wherever you can put it and store it quite well. And you'll start feeling it. And then you go into the topical applications, and the topical applications are designed to drive these nutrients directly into organs and systems throughout the body, as well as get into the bloodstream and reach the rest of your body. And they include, well, there's pets, children, night sipping. Night sipping is where you wake up in the middle of the night, you got to go pee, you collect it, take a sip, leave the rest, go back to bed. That's night sipping. Some people say it deepens their REM dream states. Some people say they sleep better, and that's called night sipping. Swishing and gargling is simply the act of holding in your mouth and swishing back and forth, right, before you swallow it. Now, why would people want to swallow it? Why is some people asking me if they should spit it out? Because what they're not realizing is that you have the most disinfective, antibacterial, antiseptic, anti-germ water on the planet. So if you're swishing around for oral health, for your teeth, for your gums, for your tongue, etc., it's already sterilized and neutralized what was originally in your mouth. So it's now joined with the rest of the medicine. Swallow it. Pulling is the same as coconut pulling, except you're not using oil. You're using orin. And I'm not going to talk to you right now. Thank you for playing. Looping. Can you add anything, Trina? What is looping?
Looping is drinking, I guess all day, right? You're drinking it all day long. Yes.
All day long.
All day long.
That basically becomes our water of choice. If you're going to drink it all day long, that doesn't mean it has to just be that. Did you drink?
Would you get dehydrated by doing that?
You'll get
if you looping?
You'll get hydrated.
Hydrated, so you don't need to add water then.
That
okay.
It's a structured living water.
Okay, I wanted to ask that because I had a question that if you're looping, do I still need to be trying to drink water? Because when you're looping, you don't feel like you need water. Yes.
Right.
Okay.
You don't need water, and you satiate all kinds of bodily things, whether it's thirst or whether it's hunger. A lot of that gets satisfied.
Yes, I noticed that I'm eating once a day, and I can barely eat when I'm eating. It's like I mean, so I must be getting some type of nourishment because my body's not craving food. I know that.
Yeah, and then you can put your energy into the things you want to do.
Right, right. This is very interesting.
It's very interesting, and I think we're not designed to eat food, but we've been so programmed to think that food is our source of life.
Yes.
That's our go-to. And then the people who fast or the people who take breaks from food are considered the exception.
Right, that's true.
You're not eating today. What's wrong with you?
Right.
Well,
the programming is deep.
The what?
The programming is deep.
Yeah. I'm not eating today because that's what's right with me.
Right.
And, we're constantly teaching people to shift their perception of what's real and what we've been led to believe what was real. And you come find out most of, not all of it was a lie.
Brainwashing.
Yeah. And now we're doing brain cleaning.
Brain cleaning, yes. Get rid of that brainwashing. Washing it. We cleaning it out.
We are doing
brainwashing.
So sip looping is something that was a name that was given to this practice by Doc Mike Whittord, a buddy out in Chicago. And his theory is every time you pee and collect, take a sip, collect the rest. Pee, sip, collect, pee, sip, collect. And that was his form of saying this is time-release nutrition.
Wow.
Now, if you think about how many times people they put their pills in their little pill holder that has Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I mean, there was a generation in the 60s, they had that all down. They had a whole system of what pills and what day at what time, blah, blah, blah. And if you just sip and every 2 hours you pee and you sip, you've handled it.
Wow.
See how simple this is?
It's simple. Simple.
We're the most intelligent species that people can imagine, and yet we don't use our smart very well. That's how intelligent we are. All right, so saturation dosing, we've gone over that a whole bunch of times. Foot soaks, we went over that. Enemas, douches, and implants, any questions about that?
Now, the cold is like when you try to do an enema, it is freezing cold.
Don't want to shock your bum. Heat it up.
Heat it up. Yes, oh my gosh.
Heat it up, warm it up, or darn it, suck it up. It's just
one way or the other.
One way or the other. It's going to find its way back inside you. So
true.
you have to figure it out. So enemas, douches, and implants are going to not only help to purify and sterilize and clean up whatever pathogens are in those areas, but it's also going to get up to the portal vein to the liver. It's going to get into the mucosa and make its way into the bowel, and it's going to help in all kinds of places in the body. And the first order of business that any good naturopath, wellness practitioner, nutritionist, or colon therapist would say, if you are sick, do an enema, do a colonic. That's the first thing they're going to address. You got to clean out your system so there's no sewage in there. And even
But with the, excuse me, but with the urine, you don't have to use like the whole bag like you would do with like you did a coffee enema. So you can actually use a syringe and put just a portion in. They say, I read that somewhere.
you can do it any way you want. Some people,
Any amount, yes.
you can put in 3 ounces, 6 ounces. Those are closer to an implant. And those you could leave in there. It will absorb. But if you decide that there are some blockages, obstructions in the lower part of the large intestines, it's causing the sigmoid to hold things back. And this is what causes constipation, back pain, all kinds of problems with the body. Then the whole bag, as much as you can
The
hold,
whole bag.
a bag, half a bag. Now, I typically will set up the bathroom. I got a system now. The rug on the floor, the bag hanging over something or other, the clamp clamped, and you get in place, and you do that, get to the toilet, and do multiple rounds. I got in the habit of doing 4 to 6 rounds of full bags, which takes about 45 minutes. Because each time there's things come out of you that are further inside that you didn't realize.
Sort of like colonics.
Sort of like colonics, yeah. Yeah, unless we're really good at being able to get a visual inside our tube, how do we know what's in there? It's out of sight.
Right.
So help out your body any way you can. And some people they build into a regular change of season. Summer, winter, autumn, fall, they do enemas. There's some people in the urine therapy community that do an enema every day.
Really?
Yep. Either they had a really bad past and they were really sick, or they're using this as a preventative measure, or they're hooked on it. Who knows? I mean, anything could be addicting, but anything also could be therapeutic.
Yes, I knew someone who was addicted to it. I think they did it twice a day, every day. And they passed away. But it wasn't urine, it was just regular enemas.
Regular water. Okay. So this is why we do enemas, douches, and implants. Page 71 is ears. If you have a dropper bottle or a little syringe, you can put a full dropper bottle in one ear. Basically you'll squeeze it out, let it go in. You can get to the tube opened up. You can pull at your earlobes just so it goes in a little deeper down the eustachian tube. And then when you're done, just turn your head the other side and let it drain. All right, so you're looking at hearing problems, tinnitus, wax buildup, clogged ears, anything dealing with hearing, with your ears, the functions of your ears. That's what that's designed for. Eye rinses. You have eye cups? You have an eye cup? Yeah, sure you do.
Yes.
So you have 2 options, actually 3, for doing the eye rinses. If you use the eye cup, you simply get a filled eye cup with your golden water, make a little suction over your eyeball, blinkety blink, blink, blink. See if you can keep your eye open the whole time, a minute or 2, as long as you can hold it. And then switch it out over the other eye, do the same thing, blink, 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 hold it up as much as you can. And then when you're done with it, I learned this trick from Rosalind Hanson, is just pour it over one of your eyes. Right? Or if there's enough, pour both eyes. You want to clean out whatever might be scratching your eye, floating in your eye, and blocking your eyes from being in good shape. It's also helpful, and there was somebody who I've worked on here in Kauai. His eyes swole up, right? And his caregiver, he's a Hawaiian man. Everybody loves him here. And she sent me a picture. His eye was all swollen up. She says, well, we did this and we did that. I said, well, why don't you just soak your urine in a cotton ball already or a washcloth and put it over his eye? She says, I'm going to tell him. I said, tell him, but don't say it jokingly. Take it seriously. So that'll work too for swollen eyes.
Mm.
You know, people who have edema and their legs are all puffed out because they're retaining water. Put a compress on their legs, put it on their ankles. All right, we've gone into fasting. You pretty much got that part. Nose drinking, sniffing, and snorting. You got that part. Get it up your nose when you're in Israel. Get it up in your nose. All right, we're moving over to page 90. 94 is the nebulizer, respirator, humidifier, or diffusers. Now, originally I was using a diffuser slash humidifier to disperse essential oils in the room, right? And you guys were familiar with that. You put it in the tank, you turn it on, and it converts it into a puff of smoke, and then it goes into the room, and it's supposed to take out airborne particulates, bacteria, airborne anything, and purify the room. So then I just go, well, why don't we do that with our pee? So I started doing that, and in this picture, which you'll see in the book, I had one of these diffusers that when you turn on the diffuser to start turning, it also emits a golden light. So I thought, how symbolic. I've got golden water inside a diffuser that's turning gold. And so that's why that picture was kept in there. And now what we have today is the handheld mesh nebulizers that some of you have, or somebody is
Yeah, I have that.
and it's about that size, and it has a little fine mesh in it, and what it does is it converts it to vapor, or extremely light fumes. And with that, you're going to either diffuse it up your nose or nebulize it up the nose. You can nebulize it over the eyes, which is very soothing. You can nebulize into the mouth. I spoke with a new client yesterday. He says, well, I sucked in my mouth and I sucked in my nose. God, that hurt. I said, yeah, but that goes away in a few seconds. He said, yeah, he said he felt better, but it was hard for him to overcome the initial shock. I said, well, you'll overcome the shock when your sinuses start getting wet and moist again. Right? That's usually where the ouch part is. So the other thing you can use it for is to exfoliate your face. Just lightly feather it, dust it over your forehead and your cheeks and your ears. And you're also bringing those nutrients in your face. You're doing a facial exfoliation.
Mm.
So once again, use your imagination. You'll come up with new protocols nobody thought of before. Oral injections are not as crazy as it sounds. People have been using oral injections for I don't know how many years since injections have been happening, but if somebody has an anaphylactic shock, I hope I pronounced it right, anaphylactic shock, they get a bee sting, a wasp sting, an allergic reaction, and they start to pass out, or they're having the effects of the shock. An injection in their butt or in the muscle back there in the rump is how everybody usually injects it. And most people feel recovery in a matter of minutes. It was Andrew Norton Weber who was affected by wasp stings, and he would go into shock. And somebody told him about urine therapy, and he would just kept it under his tongue, and the symptom went away. So however you get it inside the body, if the person is going into shock, you might have to put it in their mouth or inject it for them. If someone's passing out, if somebody has an equilibrium problem, they can't seem to walk straight, they're off center. Get them going with urine therapy. All right, page 103, the alternative to eye cups is swimming goggles. And this gentleman here, George Johnson, he's the one who introduced me to goggle method. And it works pretty phenomenally. You fill up the goggles, you put them over your eyes, you strap the strap around the back of your head, you create the suction right there, and you can keep your eyes open for quite some time. You're walking around with your eyes in water. Right? You may bump into things. You may want to stay in one place, but it's a great way to nourish and saturate both eyes at the same time. And most people either have swimmer's goggles, or the best way to get them for free in most places is to go to the swimming pools and the recreational centers and ask them if you could look through their lost and found. And you'll find all kinds of varieties there. And they're going to throw them away after a while anyway. So that's goggles. Tongue cleaning, page 104. Very simple to understand. There's 2 or 3 types of tongue cleaners. You either get them free from your dentist or pharmacist, or you get them through a drugstore, and you simply dip it in the Orin and pull it over your tongue. Scrape it over your tongue. Drag it over your tongue. Some are like this. They're made of plastic with jagged edges around the end. Some are made out of aluminum, like the tongue scrapers. They're bent like a horseshoe, and they have the little threads on one side. Some people use those and they pull it over their tongue. Right? And there are Ayurvedic practitioners and other practitioners, Chinese diagnostic practitioners. They can read the film on your tongue and tell you what your organ is compromised. If it's white, if it's a dark, this color, that color. So, in the morning time, if you want to check your tongue and see if there's any coating on there, then pull out the tongue cleaner and clean it off. The navel or the belly button soak. This book made it popular really fast, the manual, because people aren't really thinking about the belly button. Well, it's an opening. It's in you. It happens to be in your core. It happens to be the place of your birth and your connection to your mother. Well, when they cut the umbilical cord, we're not going to go into the politics of when they cut it too soon or cut it too late. But when they cut the umbilical cord and it becomes the umbilicus, the term for it in medical terms is called a pachati. And at this point, you've got the endings of 72,000 nerves. So when you're soaking it in a cotton ball or a washcloth or however you get it in there, it's going to travel down these different pathways, these different circuitries to all the different organs those 72,000 nerves reach. So you'll find you'll rest better, sleep better, and helps people digest their problems. It helps people with nervous conditions. You can see it in there. What else is it talking about? And all these facial trainings, reflexology points. Eliminates pimples. You get a glowing face. It hydrates you. It works wonders for colds and flus and runny noses, for menstruation and cramps, joint pain, strengthening bones, stomach, bloating, nausea, digestive problems. Blood flow, page 109. Nervous system. Enhances the immunity system. Improves blood flow. Heals constipation. Relieves arteries and veins, lowering blood pressure and stress to the heart. Strengthens and tones the heart muscles, page 110. As a diuretic, it removes excess water, salt, overweight, blood pressure, digestion. Is an expectorant that removes mucus from the airways and lungs. And it's great for treating allergic reactions. So have you experimented with the belly button soak yet?
No, not yet. I
Okay.
haven't tried that.
Put
Well,
it
I
in,
mean, I put it in there, but I haven't used the cotton ball. Just lay there and pour some.
yeah, well, that does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that you did it. Yeah, good start. Chapter number 16, we've already gone over. This is the evolving Orin. And the reason I changed the name in all my writings and teachings is because the word aged and aging brings up an association with people of losing strength and potential, getting sick and dying. And so I wanted people to associate Orin with the positive word. So we changed it to evolved and evolving, because the moment you collect it, it evolves. The moment you drink it, you evolve. And we as a species are evolutionary. We grow, we learn, we mature, we evolve. So it seemed more symbolic.
I have a question. When people first start using it, do they sometimes they feel a little when they're cleaning out a little weaker? Somebody told me that they felt like, you know, they were sick. Well, they were drinking a lot from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it was cleaning the body out, and they were having like the effect of feeling sick, you know.
Yeah. Occasionally, if someone who's not been eating too well and they jump into urine therapy, there might be a Herxheimer or a die-off effect, some call detoxing,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't last long. And that's not the time, it's not the sign to quit.
Right. A lot of people try to quit at that time. Yes.
Yeah, well, they're not familiar with the body's cycles and what a detox symptom looks like. They might think they're going to get sicker.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And so the fear of the unknown can really scare people. So just reassure them it's part of the process. And if it's too intense, that's the time to rest and get body work.
Yeah.
Actually
You
work.
talk about true. You talk about the book, The Golden Fountain, in here, and I got it in.
So this is the Golden Fountain, the complete guide to urine therapy.
Yes.
That was written by Cohen Vanderkroon out in Holland. That book was my urine therapy Bible for years.
Really, I had one, and one of my kids, it disappeared, so I told her another one. So I'm glad they did take it.
Yeah.
That let me know they're interested in it. One of them is out of all 10 of them.
Well, one thing people are doing now more and more is they're getting copies of either this book, the
Within,
Healing
I
Water.
think I have that one. Yours?
That was the original book.
Yes, that
20,
one I have it. I think
or they're
my
getting.
son lifted that one too, so I got to reorder that one.
All right, Trina, you can order it from Amazon or from me. It doesn't matter.
Yes, I ordered it. I had it, and that one disappeared with the one I just showed you. So now I have to order that one again.
Okay, well,
It walked out the door too, well, along with this one.
I have them on stock if you ever want autographed copies. So this book is like an overview of everything in the other books, but in a small, compact size so that people can give them away as gifts. They can leave it out on the coffee table. Some people leave it on the tank behind the toilet.
Okay.
You know, and I envision wellness practitioners and naturopaths leaving it on the table where all the magazines are, while in the reception area. So people go, "You guys practice urine therapy? Oh, tell me more. Read the book."
That's great. Yes.
So that's another way you can educate people without having to be the person they look at and go, "Oh, well, it was written, so it must be real." Okay, page 120 is the Orin bath. Pretty self-explanatory. You're going to collect a gallon or more of the Orin, unless you've been collecting for some time. You probably won't have 8 gallons to 10 gallons that you can completely immerse in pure Orin. But if you have a gallon or more, you can also add city water, distilled water, or whatever you can to make it comfortable and warm it up. It'll be more of a diluted or homeopathic form, but it'll still have an effect on relaxing you and helping heal you. While you're in the bath, I might have recommended this before, is get a 1-quart plastic spray bottle and keep it in the bath area on the ledge somewhere. So while you're in the bath, either while you're standing and it's filling up, or when you're in the bath, apply it where you can. Pour it over your eyes, snort it up your ears, put it in your nose, gargle it. So you're going to knock out 6 or 7 protocols while you're in there. And sometimes the sprayer, I don't know what's with these sprayers, sometimes it clogs up. So what I do is I just unscrew the spray top, pour it in one hand, and then apply it with a hand. I like the sprayer because you can reach parts that you can't with your hands.
Right. I just pour it on the back. Yes.
Wherever it pours, that spot gets nice. Skin conditions, page 121. It's just beautiful. You can use a cotton ball, you can use a hand towel, you can use a cotton pad, whatever it takes. Pea is a natural product that darkens, restores hair color, making it thicker, shinier. We're on page 123. Massage Orin thoroughly into your hair. Apply it to the hair shortly before going out into the intense sunlight. You can either leave it on as long as possible and the odor will fade away, or you can wash it off. That's totally up to you. What myself and a lot more people are doing is just to be on the safe side. You've left a bathroom, you're going off into your house or out into the world. They just put essential oils on their hair. Rosemary, peppermint, lemon, whatever you got. And then people go, "Oh, you smell so fresh." You say, "Thank you. It's to cover my pee." However you're going to present it to people. And it's a wonderful remedy for facial skin problems, blackheads, dark spots, pigment spots, dry to cracked skin, acne, capillary burst. Dabbing on Orin with a soaked cotton ball, washcloth, or hand heals these skin problems. Apply directly to the affected area and leave on for about 10 minutes, and you could either wash it or let it dry out. Remember, applying Orin on the face or any surface will deliver its vital nutrients, page 124, from the tissues to the bloodstream. Anywhere you apply Orin on the body or drink it, delivers nutrients everywhere in the body. Once it gets in the bloodstream, it goes everywhere. It's great in cold atmosphere for chapped lips, infected lips. Just put it on your lips anytime or before bedtime to further increase hydration and heal. This removes dead cells while it makes your lips soft and tender. Orin treats acne, blackheads on the face. It's antifungal, antibacterial. Characteristics solve problems that disturb you, make you feel self-conscious or embarrassed. Topical external use of Orin works wonders on insect or ant bites, wasp, hornet, bee stings, jellyfish, also known as man-o-war stings, poison ivy, poison oak, burns, sunburn, eczema, bruises, dried or cracked skin, cuts, scratches, or wounds. Use your imagination and intuition when applying it topically to treat any and all skin conditions. Been in the sun too long? Don't worry. Orin removes sunburn sting in 10 minutes, raises the pH, and leaves you with a beautiful suntan. And then you apply it if you're concerned about sunburn. Apply it a couple more times during the next 24 hours just to nourish the skin and deepen the suntan. Page 125, Orin compresses. Orin compresses, or what's also known as a body wrap, is where you simply set up your bed or a pad in a way that you've got plastic laid out over the pad, a sheet over the plastic. You apply it all over your body. You lay down, you wrap yourself in a cocoon with either cotton or plastic, whatever people use. So you heat up the body and it drives it deeper into the skin. Okay. If somebody needs it in a specific area, like over the liver, kidneys, lungs, heart, spleen, then you can just do a compress with enough material to cover and put pressure on that area. For as many people we know that have those kind of conditions, that will really help them. Fresh orange rubbings is basically whenever you feel like it, is take a cotton ball or washcloth and just rub it over specific areas. I mentioned homeopathic tinctures and homeopathic use of orin. I don't necessarily practice it or recommend it, but I wanted people to know that if they wanted to do the homeopathic version, and that's where you dilute it down to like 100%. It's like a drop of urine in an ounce of water. Some people are getting benefits of the homeopathic or diluted version. But myself and most people do, we use full strength as much as possible. Okay, 128 is basically hair, feet, and hands. I went out one day and I might have mentioned this some of the earlier classes, that when you do a lot of urine therapy, you tend to see things that seem to lean toward using it for urine therapy. So I'd go into stores and I would find that the little silicone bulb the kids use for cleaning out the ears. I go, oh, that's a rectum implant. That's perfect for that. Or I found these little spray bottles. Oh, that's perfect for that. Well, I also found this set of 4 different colored, glow in the dark kind of, whatever you want to call it, shower caps. There was a purple and a magenta and a yellow and a green. I brought it home and go, let me think about this. Oh, you can rub it all over your hair, put the shower cap on, and let it hold it in place for a couple hours. And you could use it for head compresses and head massages. Oh, wait a minute. You can tie it to your feet like surgical booties, and you have a mobile foot soak. Wait a minute. You can tie it around your hands and use it for a mobile hand soak. So see things in all kinds of different ways. Even some of the things you have right now that could be used in different ways. That's how I came up with that. Your eyes will be seeing things differently each time. Page 131, an orin deodorant. Pretty self-explanatory. Put it where you would put the antiperspirant. And you won't have to deal with aluminum. You won't have to deal with chemicals going into your bloodstream, but you will have lovely smelling armpits. And that'll also help the lymphatic system, because you've got those lymphatic nodules in the armpit. Page 132 is orin by the bedside. I've recommended this for many years, and some people have taken me up on it and some don't, but the idea is to leave an open container of your orin next to your bedstand. So in the middle of the night, it's going to help purify the air around you, right? It's there if you need to take a sip in the middle of the night, a sniff in the middle of the night. And some people like to have it. It just means something to them. So if you want to keep it by your bedside, you can keep it covered if you want to, with the loose top, like your mason jar. But some people keep it open because they think it might be working like a diffuser. All right, that's the writing of Manjeshri Abhinav in India. Nourishing the nails, you're basically going to, soak your fingernails in there for 15 minutes, brush the nails, rinse the nails in water on, and then you get stronger looking nails, and the brittle type of nails will get stronger. And this is great for ladies, and I guess men as well, that their diet is off, their silicon is missing. They're deficient in silicon, so their nails don't grow right, or they're crooked, or they're scratched, and urine really helps. All right, as we come to the end of the chapter of protocols it is suggested that you take time to rest, rest, rest. We're busy. We're doers. We also are beings who need to practice being. So being able to treat yourself with wellness practices that are loving, kind, and nurturing to you has to include rest. Rest from your activities, rest from your brain, rest from your relationships, rest from media, rest from the world tugging at you. Take a break, go into nature, lay on a beach. You know the drill. Give yourself some time for you. Page 140 is talking about creating suggestions for topical use. I mean, for using the protocols. In chapter 9, it goes into general treatment suggestions, and these general treatment suggestions, a lot of this teaching came from the Golden Fountain. We don't diagnose. We don't do the things that doctors do. We don't prescribe. We don't diagnose. But what you can do, as someone who's in the healing arts or the natural healthcare industry, is to make suggestions. And so we've compiled some of the most widely used ones from the book of the Golden Fountain, put them in on page 146 to 152, anything from acne to warts and wounds. And so as you go through this, and you'll see what's suggested for one condition and another condition, there seems to be a lot of similarity. So, you know, oral consumption for every one of them. Some of them, foot massage, foot soak for every one of them. Enemas. So you get to see which condition applies to what. And when you've done enough natural care, you know, for the naturopaths and the people who are into natural wellness, you get to see what applies to the liver applies to the skin, what applies to kidneys, it applies to this other condition. So you use this as a barometer to start using your intuition to design your own suggestions, your treatment suggestions. So that was basically a starter. So you guys can look at that and go, well, I would suggest the ear rinse and the drink, like the ear problems, ear rinse, drinking, foot soaks, nasal drinking. And there's reasons for each one of those applying to that condition. You will, next time you read that, you may even come up with something that I didn't write down. You have a question? Woo-hoo.
Good.
Designing protocols and wellness practices, I kind of went into that. You're gonna study these different conditions and the general treatment suggestions, and eventually you'll get good at coming up with these on your own. After a while, if you're like me and you get a lot of people asking you, well, which protocol should I use for this, that, and the other thing? And you've answered these questions enough times, and you've gone into conversation with people enough times, you get it. Yeah, start with drinking, then do a foot soak. You change your diet. Maybe you need to fast. Enemas, and you'll get really good at coming up with these on your own. Chapter 11 is about clearing the mind of all misconceived ideas of what urine is. And we talked about that in this course. We talk about it in all the courses. When someone says, oh, come on, you drink your pee. We know it's a waste product. Are you crazy? I said, well, can you keep an open mind? Maybe you don't know the whole picture. Ever thought that maybe do you think the medical profession is honest about everything? Of course not. It lies a lot. Well, how do you know they didn't lie about your water? So you get really good with these responses. So whoever comes at you, the naysayers, the hecklers, the guys that are making fun of you, you can stand strong in your truth and go, here's another way to look at it. Keep an open mind.
Right.
Without them feeling judged. And that's a tricky thing. I've not really found anybody in this water movement, this golden water movement, that has ego moments. It tries to like put down or criticize people because they don't do what they do. You got to get a lot of compassion when you're sharing this. Or for sure, they'll think you're in a cult. Where did they go? What happened to Trina? Oh yeah, she joined that pea drinkers cult. No, she smartened up. That's what happened.
Yes, definitely.
And it's time for other people to smarten up as well. All right, let's keep going here. Surveying a client, page 170. You get good at probing and asking questions if you want to be able to help them to create and design a wellness lifestyle and a wellness practice. And so what I did was I included some of the questions that I use when doing consultations and interviewing. It's called inquiry. Why do you drink your pee? What do you think of the truth about Oren? What's your influence? Can you recall any defining moments that helped with your decision? Are you ready to make a commitment? Was it easy or difficult for you? Where did you get your education? Are you serious about telling other people? Do you ever think you'll ever consider stopping this practice? So these are deep questions, and these are questions that help people to start to learn how to think critically, which is something they didn't teach us in school. How to think for yourself, how to decipher between what people tell you is true and what's not. So these are things to practice. Page 173 is how to prepare. You prepare mentally, emotionally, and physically in all kinds of ways so that when you're there with your client, you can stay present with them and you're not thinking about checking your email or what you have to finish the rest of the day. Because I know in any one day, Trina, I've got a list of things that I put to do on that day. And right now, this is the most important thing.
Yeah, a lot of things to do.
I learned
Many.
that when I did a lot of body work over the years at 5-star hotels in Waikiki. I did a lot of body work. And what you learn is you might have 5, 6, whatever clients on the books. And you can't tell yourself, oh, it's the same with your case as a naturopath. Oh, I got 5 clients today. No, you have 1 client right now. And this is the client of the day. When you're done,
Right.
meditate, clear your mind. You have 4 left. No, you have 1 client that you're doing right now. So you can stay present with them.
Yes, definitely.
Well, that's tripping out on all kinds of stuff. So on page 177, you get to look into some of the clients that I've had and some of the sessions and what came up. And it's good to keep a notebook and a pen handy because when you're talking to somebody, you'll pick up some of the ideas that comes from them and helps you to go deeper into what their patterns are and what their conditions are and why they created it in the first place. So it's a lot easier to help people to get through the tough parts by, finding out what they're wired, what makes them think. Chapter 15, page 194. Are you considering becoming a urine therapy teacher? Yes. Are you considering turning this into a profession or a career? Yes. Whether you decide to monetize your career or not, it's up to you. I did, and it's been a joy. But that's up to you. Right? So if you decide to go that route, you get the education. You may want to be listed on the Water Family Directory, which I believe you will be at some point. And when you build your website or you put a page up or a social media page, it's a symbolic act that you're open for business. And once you make your service known publicly, roll up your sleeves, there will be clients. They will come. Or I'll give you some of my extras. I am more than blessed with clients. They start at 6 in the morning. They don't know I'm in Hawaii. They call at 6 o'clock in the morning. I said, hi, good morning. Oh yeah, I'm calling you from New Zealand. I said, good for you. Okay, do you know what time it is? Yeah, but I really am serious trouble. I really need some help. So I said, give me a minute. Let me compose myself. I got to switch gears, wake up, and then we go do it into a session.
Wow.
Not recommended, but yeah, it can be done. You'll find out what you're made out of.
Well, I experienced that with naturopathy.
Yeah. I mean, this is why some people go, oh, I have office hours. My hours are 10 a.m. to 5 in the afternoon. And I suck at keeping those hours because I have people go, oh, yeah, but the only time I can come see you is at 6:30 at night. I said, okay, are you committing? Will you be here for a 90-minute session? Yeah. And I'll rearrange everything and I'll make it work.
That's what we do.
Yeah. People say you work really hard. God, you work really hard. Well, I play really hard too. Because when there's work, you work. And when there's no work, it's your time.
Right.
And you are going to enjoy it. Chapter 16, page 201 is if you decide to go use the media, offline, CBS, ABC, NBC, blah, 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 online, social media. Right. So I have been successful in both of those. If you want to have any questions about how to approach the media, there's ways to do that, including newspapers and magazines. I was written up in the Boulder Weekly, and I didn't know these guys did this. This is like a new approach. They call you up and they interview you over the phone. They're recording it, right? And so when they're done, they turn that into a script and they turn that into an article, and they just wrote an article through one interview. You didn't even have to meet them in person. So that seems to be the new version of magazines and newspapers, because people live everywhere in the world, but they can't always get to you, but they can reach you by phone or the internet. Now, what they do is whatever they do. When the television station came to interview me, and we're doing Tai Chi in my apartment, and then the cameraman and the journalist, we walked into the kitchen. This was an apartment I had in Boulder. They're filming all my sacred objects and statues and altars. Then they zoom back. They're taking a picture of me drinking the Oran, explaining all the protocols, joking with the journalist about what you should try this. I mean, while you're here, you want a sip? And she said, no, that's your practice. We're just here to film you. They cut that part out. But at the very end, they bring in the doctor to demonize it. The last 30 seconds, they bring in the doctor. The doc says, these people got it wrong. It's a waste product. And you should avoid anybody who does this kind of thing, right? They thought they could just, put a clamp on it. But what they didn't realize, this is now 6 years later since that took place, Channel 7, there's 85,000 views.
Wow.
So any news is good news when it comes to this movement. Because the people who know what it is, they know these guys have got it wrong, and they're just trying to, run propaganda on you. So those things are always helpful. I even took it to the streets. If anybody wants to take it to the streets, there's a video on my Rumble channel where I went to the streets of Boulder, had 3 students. We put out the literature and the books and the handouts and the sign, and one of them was taking pictures, and we had 35 people in 4 hours. First, I got a permit from the city because I had a nonprofit, and 35 people showed up at the table asking questions about urine therapy in 4 hours, and only 2 of them were hecklers.
Wow.
So a lot of things that I do in this life now, Trina, and you might be in that position now, is the things that you do are as a teaching aid, as a teaching device. You're demonstrating to other people what can be done if they will do this.
Right.
Because it occurred to me that, there's lots of talk on the internet, but what about all that whole generation that doesn't use the internet? What about all the people that are afraid of the internet or spooked by the internet? They're missing out on hearing about this. So if you take it to the streets, it's a whole nother market. Not for everybody. Chapter 17, to charge or not charge, that's totally up to you. Even though some people say urine is free, urine therapy is free, I might have mentioned this before, the time, the energy, the research, the knowledge, the education, everything you put into knowing what you know now, as a professional, that's valuable.
Yes.
That deserves to be compensated for. So all the people who are expecting you to give it away, they don't look at the big picture. And most of them come from a poverty mentality.
True.
So God bless him.
Yes, God bless them.
Everyone. So chapter 18 is different urine therapy teachers that I've had the joy and the honor to interview and get to know. There was Maha Tejame Devi out there in France. That's her picture. Incredible recording artist. Page 215 is Harry Matadine of UK. He's written 3 or 4 books on aged urine. And he's been on quite a few radio shows, television shows, and newspapers in England. So that's Harry. Dr. David Jubb, I met at the Water of Life Symposium in Las Vegas in 2018, and he's this genius from Tasmania, which is south of Australia. And he's been doing urine therapy since he was a kid, because in his culture, it was part of the culture. So he learned how to heal things since he was a young age. And now he's an adult, and he markets and sells longevity products, teaches about urine therapy, and claims he hasn't eaten anything in 10 years.
Wow, really?
So yeah, if he's a breatharian, more power to him. I bet you he's still drinking his water. And we wrote about him. Dave Murphy is also known as, what is his alias? Allegedly Dave. Allegedly Dave was in England at the time, and he did a 30-day urine fast. And he healed whatever he healed, but it was setting a standard and a demonstration for people who wanted to go longer in their urine fast and not just quit after 3 days. So that's Dave Murphy. If you look up, you'll find a YouTube channel. It's either under Allegedly Dave. The reason he calls it Allegedly Dave, because he knows the birth certificate is a straw man, fake corporate thing. And so when he used the name Dave, he said, I'm Allegedly Dave, according to society. There's Leah Sampson, standing white buffalo from Canada. Her story about she healed all these burns off her body. She had every possible illness and sickness. She was overweight. And so we put some before and after pictures of her on page 228 and 229. I had a chance to meet and interview her. And then that chapter ends with a poem by Casey Caban, also known as We Do Shivambu. And The Orin Oracles is his book of poetry on urine therapy. If anybody who watches this replay, these incredible poems on urine therapy were written by Casey Caban, and they're available on, that's the book, available on Amazon, and it's also available on some other book-selling websites as an ebook. Some people only want to spend $10 versus what, 16, whatever it is, $20. You can get it that way. Finishing up the book, we looked at chapter 13, where we've listed a lot of the master teachers and superstars. Some of them, like Dr. Rajshak Malhotra and his wife of India, have been teachers and advisors of urine therapy for 55 years. Right? You got a guy in France, you got people in America, you have people from all over the world at the time in 2020 when this book was published. These are some of the names. Some of them are still around. Who knows? And then I'm going to look up the person who wrote that book. You sent me a text of the book. Yeah, I'm going to look that guy up.
Yes, I sent it to you.
Yeah, I found it. Thank you. Chapter 20 is the future of Shivambu. I won't go into it, so you'll have to go get the book to find out what's coming down the urethra, what's coming down the pipe of the future, and how can we adapt to the new humanity and the new earth that's going to take place when people get liberated and saved with themselves, by themselves, without the use of an outside authority like a so-called doctor, nurse, naturopath, anybody outside themselves. So this is a peek of the future. And when this information was when it was brought through me, now 3 or 4 years later, a lot of these things have come true, which is cool. I did suggest that we might want to go into the churches, and inside that little container when you walk inside the Catholic Church is change out their holy water for our holy water. So people go in and go, your holy water smells like piss. Oh, it is. Put some on your head. All right, that's outside the box. I get that. All right. They may not be ready for that.
No, I don't think so.
I don't either, but in an alternative reality, it's already happening. Chapter 21, funny, we're joking. Chapter 21 is how to use humor, the role of humor in teaching and describing urine therapy. Because it's going to require a sense of humor for you to be able to open up a conversation and to make light of it when it's controversial or conspiratorial, and the person may have a hard time getting what you're saying is serious. So sometimes people bring jokes into the conversation. And so I not only joked about it in my books, but I went to a little further distance and I wrote the Piscabulary of Urinisms, which is a whole new language for pee drinkers and people who want to have a pistastic way of looking at doing urine. Let me read some of the words that are on the front cover. You'll find the descriptions and the definitions contained in the book. Utopia, oronomics, pismark, oronology, impivise, pistambul, a piscatir. You know, the guys that have swords and they fight, they're called a piscatir and they drink their pee. Piss information, Wikipedia, pisnacular, unbelievable, or an anniversary. So these are words that came through me, and it was fun to make up a whole new language if anybody wants to get that. Now, all my books are available as signed copies if you're in the United States. We're coming to a close of our class here right now. The people who have graduated the course, Susan, Sarah, Tanya, Dr. Parker, they're all receiving a certificate of completion in urotherapy sometime this afternoon when I finish publishing this video. So you'll get your certificate, and congratulations.
Thank you.
You did really well.
Enjoyed the class, really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you.
The classes, yes.
So my services are available for graduating students if you need to do a follow-up review, if you want to refer out someone who needs a consultation. You have my cell phone and contact information. Some people find me through brothersage.com. And it's 12:12. We're going to quit right there on the 12:12.
Okay.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to take